Welcome on to another episode of RG22 Outdoor Adventures. So on this episode we are going to be making some floats. So I'm going to go show you how I go about making them, and let's get started. So right now we have a wood lathe and got a chunk of balsa wood in here. We're just going to turn it into a nice little cylinder. Go to light. Don't worry about the water too much. That's what it's needed. What I want to do is get this round up here. Okay. Down. And at this point I'll probably use a chamfer. That's what we're use to rotate it. So it's not quite what I want. What we're going to do is cut this back a little bit. Okay. All we do is sand it. Okay, so now we can see. Let's see what it looks like close. Excuse me. A little bit more. There we go. I'm also making kind of a bit so you can see it. There we go. Oh, let me count a little more. Alright. Okay. Doing this good. Okay. There we go. And move my one. Find out. Alright. There we go. Okay. It's nice and round. Okay. Now start working on this side. Okay. Now we'll start working on getting this thinner. Now what I can do, taking it out. Like that. Try to get as much wood as I can into that top of the can. Okay. Okay. Just gotta move it a little bit. There we go. Oh, good. Okay. I don't want to do that. That's okay. No big deal. Just this will do. Okay. Now we'll spin it as fast as I can. We'll get that sealed up really super glue. And now, what we can do. Okay. And now we can down this a little bit more. There you go. Bring some paper. Okay, and let's just put that off. There we go, almost done. Alright, so let's just off there, good. Back this off, okay. Okay, so what we have here is our finished out float. We just have to seal it and get this top sanded off here. So just take some sandpaper and just sand around it. There we go, good. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna make it with a wire stem. Okay, wire stem float. And basically what we have to do is find the center. And then we just jam it in there. Get some epoxy or some glue, glue it in, and then our float is basically made, the body, at least the rough part. Then it's just finishing it. So let me get this marked, and we'll get the wire in, we'll get it sealed, and then we'll show you the rest of it. Alright, so we're going to use some super glue, and there's the float. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it works better if I do that. I don't know. But there's the float. So let's get this sealed. I want this to seal really good. So let's soak that. I think it's smoke. Wow. That creates a lot of heat. Let me do a little bit more in here. Okay. Oh man. Let's let this dry and then we'll put another coat of it on. And then we'll sand it smooth, probably, and then that should be good enough to paint. So that's the float so far. Wire stem, help keep it stable. And then we'll get this sanded by hand, and I'm going to put another coat of super glue in here. So we'll let this dry and continue this some other time. Let's put another coat of super glue on there. Okay. Let that soak in. So essentially, if we did it right, I shouldn't even have to glue the stem in. The stem should be secured. And then it's just a matter of letting this stuff dry completely, coming back in a few minutes, and it's going to require a lot of sanding because we got to get all these ridges off here. So we'll be sanding it for quite a while, I think. So it looks good. And then after that, it's painting, and then putting a couple coats of clear on it, and then calling it done. So let's let this dry, and then we'll come back and sand it. Float all sanded after the super glue is put on, and as you can tell, it's rock solid. So what we're going to do now is we are going to what I like to do is I like to take a finish and put a finish over it first. If I'm going to make a really fancy one, I want the paint to be nice and smooth. I'm going to do that. If I just want something I'm going to fish with really quick, I'll throw some paint on here, not worry about it. Maybe put a stain on here before I did the super glue, and then paint the top, paint this part, leave this part natural, throw a finish over it, and be done with it. I think for this video we're going to do some airbrushing, so I want it to be nice and smooth. So we're going to take some finish here. This stuff isn't the best, but you can get it at Hobby Lobby, and it's fairly inexpensive. Made by Lathe. And I have a scale, which you can see here, so we'll turn that on. And we're going to mix equal parts of part A and part B. Sometimes the more you use, the more you give yourself more room for error. And then we're going to use one of our chip brushes to get it all painted. Okay, so let's get this mixed, and then we'll put it on the dryer, and then come back in about maybe 4 or 5 hours and throw a coat of white paint over it, and then start our painting. So we're mixing part A. We'll do maybe 5 or 6 grams. I guess we'll do 6. Okay. Part B. Ooh, shoot, we forgot to tear it. So let's go to 5. There, okay, good. Alright, so we have a mixer, and we're going to spend quite some time mixing this together. We'll just go slow mixing it, and then we'll apply it. So we'll see you in a few minutes. But normally on this first coat I usually don't worry about the air bubbles because it's all going to get painted over. It's when we do the outside, our final clear coats. And usually I'll do 2 coats. There we go, look at that, nice. And all I did for a holder was I just took a fishing line container for the mixing. So we're going to keep mixing. Alright, so now let's move over here to our dryer, and you'll see us do some applying of the finish. Okay. So let's apply some finish to this. I've already cleaned this. We'll apply this nice and heavy. That way it has room to drip and level itself out and fill up all the spaces. This is what we want to make a nice thin coat, and it'll kind of cover up all the imperfections and levels out to a nice smooth finish. I don't know if you can see that now. That's what we're trying to achieve. We'll fill in this spot here. There, we'll fill that in. There we go. I guess I'm going to put this on nice and heavy. I'll let it drip. So that way we fill in all the spots. Especially these little nooks and crannies over here. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want this rod dryer to, where is it? Let's turn it on. So as you can see, we have a nice heavy coat of finish on it. There, nice heavy coat that we're going to let drip. Let's put a little bit more on. It's okay. It'll all drip off. It seems like a waste of clear coat that I'm using, but in all honesty, the more you use, at least in the pot, the more room for error you have in your mixing. So if you don't have the mixture exactly equal, the more you have in there, the better off you're going to be. On top of that, if you're doing a small batch, you still have enough finish in there to do the other ones. And unfortunately on this dryer, I can only do 2 at a time. So let's let this drip dry. Just lightly scuff the area up. Even the Scotch-Brite would probably work. We'll do this. Just enough to so the paint adheres to it. Still a little sticky, which might be okay. There we go. Okay. So now, let's paint some white. Got the airbrush. A little bit of opaque white. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start painting. I'm going to paint some white coats first, so it adheres to it. As you guys can see that now. Let's see. Oops. Okay, I think that's good now. Now we're trying to get towards stuff good. There we go. Get that side, just like this. And I want to keep it away. We're just misting it. Get nice and thick. There we go. Okay, so I would say the base coat is done. And we're going to let this dry. So let's show you guys what it looks like. There we go. Now we let this dry. We're going to come back. And I'm debating whether or not I want to use silver or gold. So silver or gold, we're going to paint here all the way up to about here. And then I'm probably going to go with a little bit of blue to shade it. And then we'll go transparent black at the base. After that, I'll show you a little trick that I use to get a nice straight line before I paint the fluorescent yellow and the fluorescent orange. After that, then we do some lines, and then we clear coat it, and then we call the float done after 2 coats clear. So it'll probably won't be usable until, well, the day after tomorrow or something like that. So let's let this dry. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna let this dry for a little while. We'll come back down, we'll paint this, we'll figure out, do we want to use silver or gold? Most likely I'm leaning towards silver, and then blue, and then transparent black, and then we do the fluorescent yellow and fluorescent orange. And then after that we'll put some accent lines underneath to kind of separate the body of the float from the tip of the float. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a little, we'll see you about an hour or so. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. This is silver. We're going to do a silver base on the body of the float. I tried something different, a clear masking. We'll see if that works when I'm painting. And then we're going to go over to, like I said, blue. We're going to use another ink, and then transparent black. After that, we're going to let it completely dry totally, and then we're going to mask the area off, and then we're going to paint where I have it masked right here. So let's get the silver put on first. Okay, let's get this silver painted. There we go. Nice even coat of silver. Can you all see that? Now it's nice and silver in color. I'm going to paint it fairly thick. There we go. Okay, let's let this dry, and then we'll go blue. Okay, next we are going to use let's see, brilliant blue ink, and you can get that brand at Hobby Lobby. So let's paint it blue. I'd like to have a darker blue, but it is what it is. I know I could add black to it, but I don't feel like it. To darken it up. Okay. All right, here we go. Blue. Let's get to better in the light here. Okay, here's blue. Now I want to start at the bottom, and I just want to shade it up to the top. I don't want it all covered in silver completely. So we're just going to shoot it from a distance, rotate it. I want to go heavier at the bottom. Ooh, too much. That's okay. There we go, that's better. Now I'm going to start concentrating down the float. I want to get that completely covered in the blue. You can still see some of the silver still shows through a little bit. There we go. Let's let that dry for a minute, and we'll add another coat of the blue to the bottom. So let's dry this off really quick. So we're drying it off. This is getting all dried off now. That's just the last bit. Okay, we're going to add us another coat of blue. There we go. There we go. So now, you can still see some of the silver. You can get the blue ink and the silver. So now we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to go over this bottom part here in some transparent black, trying to shade it up to maybe right there. And then after that, let it dry. I'll show you how I mask some of the stuff off with Teflon tape to get a nice clean line around the float. And from there, obviously I got to repaint that white. So let's let this dry. We'll come back, hit it with transparent black. Okay, now it's transparent black time. Well, you really can't see it, but it says transparent black. So plan, transparent black up at the bottom, just up to here. So that way we have the blue shading, and the black will shade just slightly above that. After that, we'll take this masking liquid that I have on here that I'm trying out, take that off, and then we'll get the fluorescent yellow, fluorescent orange painted. So let's get to painting. Shake it up. Okay, let's put some in here. We don't need a lot, just a little bit. Just a little bit to make a difference. Oops. Okay. So this one I'm going to have to spray at a really shallow angle. And then I just want to kind of work the airbrush up a little bit to about there. I just want to see like overspray. That's all I want to see. See, overspray. That's it, right there. A little bit more. Just want to cover a certain area here. More. That's not. Let's dry that off, and we'll go hit the bottom. But that's actually kind of perfect. I like how it's shaded. So let's let this dry for a minute, and then I'm going to go over this bottom a little bit more. So here we are, our completed body of the float. We started with silver. Actually, we did a white undercoat, and we went silver, and then we went blue, and we shaded that up so we can still see the silver once that's all off. And then we went to black, and we shaded the black with just overspray. So now you can kind of see the silver through the blue through the black, and then you've got this really dark under part. So here's the float right now. So we're going to let all this dry. We're going to take the masking off, and then we're going to start doing the top part of the float. So let's let this dry and we'll be back. So this part's going to be fluorescent yellow. I repainted this white, you didn't need to see that. So this part here is going to be painted fluorescent yellow. The top is going to be painted fluorescent yellow, orange. So let's start painting. So there. Let's let this dry for a minute. We'll throw another coat on. So I'm going to dry the second coat. Okay, so we got our two coats on. We'll let this dry, and when this is done, we will put our fluorescent orange on. So let's get this cleaned off. I don't need that much, but that's okay. Okay, so this part is going to be fluorescent orange. Let's get the painting. Nice light coat, we'll let it dry. The other just paint adheres to it. Air. Okay, so there we are. There's the finished. Let's see what it looks like. Let's do the unveiling. That way you can see what it's going to look like here. The only problem is you get these strings, the Teflon tape. So we just have to pick those off. After this is all dry, we'll pick it all off before we put our finish on. We're going to paint a black line across here, or some gold, or what have you. We'll probably do white first, and then we'll put the gold over that, black and white, and probably gold again. but that's the float. I think it looks pretty good. All right, let's let all this dry. We'll get our colors set up and get it painted. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to paint a couple lines right across here, right along this line here, and then another one probably down here. I'm thinking of using gold and black. But what I'm going to do first is we got to get this stuff off. There's some things we need to get off here. Let me just go over it. Okay. Let's see if we can pick this off here. There we go. It works. The negatives. Oh, well. Okay, so this is where we paint our lines here. I'm using one of these brushes here. If you can see that. I know it's already been used, but that's okay. Got a little palette here, so we're gonna do some white. Give this time to dry. These lines are gonna be fairly thin. Let me see the fresh one. Let me see if I have a fresh one. I do. Okay, good. So we may have to clean this one once or twice with each color that we use. Can you see that? Good. Okay. So we're going to use this line here. And these we're going to let dry. And fairly heavy. Like that. Let's dry it off a little bit. We'll go over it again. And all I'm going to do right now is I want to kind of make a straight line on this. So like I said, I like using this stuff. We can make some pretty good straight lines with it. I hope I ruined over my fingerprints. I did. It's alright. It'll clean off. Yep, a little bit of water. A bit of this. Okay, that's good. Good. Okay. Fortunately, we gotta get this piece down here. Not that one, this one. But, okay, let's just get this painted white. This whole thing painted white. Put this on fairly heavy because I want the paint that we're going to put on at the top. Okay. I'm going to dry it again. Another coat. All right, so let's do that. Let's try this. Before we put our finish over, this is going to get so smooth. Okay, all right, let's take this off. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to let that dry. A little bit of air there. I'll get that out. Okay. Good. Okay, so far, there's the float. Okay. So now, what I want to do, I want to paint a gold stripe on that. I guess I didn't have it right now. Let me find out the brush is cool. We'll use this. Okay. One drop of gold. Okay, very good. You can see the color it's going to turn out. So now, let's keep this at the top. In between that, it's going to be black, and then I'm going to do gold underneath. I'm almost wondering next time if I should just do a clear coat over all this part when I'm doing these. Kind of thinking about it. Kind of thinking about maybe doing a clear over that. That way it's easier to clean. I hate to ruin the shading by cleaning all this. And, you know, that's kind of what's happening now. I'm going to clean that brush while it dries. I'm going to paint black, and then we'll go back with gold. Actually, let's let that dry and we'll put another coat of gold over it. Let it pop. See what that pop. Let's dry it out real quick here. Okay. Let's go over it one more time. There we go. Excellent, I like that. Another drop. Okay, that looks really good. Like I said, when we put that finish over it, it's all going to blend together. It's going to look really cool. Let's let this dry for a minute. I'm going to clean the brush off. I'll be back. Okay, so now we're going to do the black. God, I have a steady hand doing this. I wish I did. Oh, I wish I had a steady hand. Let's get this dry and I think we'll go over this again. Yep, that's like, I don't like it, but whatever. Nice thing is black is okay, and I go over it. Well, maybe we'll just make them, yeah. So this dry, so clean the brush, and we'll do both again. Okay, so here we go again. We're going to paint the final line. Another gold. And then we're going to let those dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over it with 2 coats clear. So the black is going to be sandwiched in between the gold. I'll probably have to go over the black one more time, is my thought. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. Not so much the black line part, but the rest of the float I'm going to be happy with. Okay. So there we go. Let's let this dry, and I'm going to go over that black one more time. Actually, we might be able to do it now. Let's try this with this. There we go. This is looking awesome now. I'm liking this. Yep. Perfect. Okay, we're done. Let's try to go with that. Okay. All right, so I think we're done with the paint. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, we followed the contour of the yellow, and unfortunately it wasn't perfectly straight, so we'll be working on that a little bit more. The lines are the best I can get without using something to turn. So I don't know if I'll put those back on anymore. If I do, it'll probably just be a black line. I just want to do this just to show some accent, things like that, just for the video. So let's let this dry, and then we will put the finish on. Your battery's almost dead. Okay, so I got the float done, as you can see here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to clear coat this. And like I said before, what I like to do is, you saw me do one coat of clear already on this. The clear coat's going to be the exact same way. So I don't really think there's any need to watch this. So we're going to mix the clear coats. We're going to put it on. I'm going to put the first coat on, and then roughly maybe 4 hours later, come back, put the second coat on. And then in the morning, you'll see the finished float. So we'll see you in the morning, and I'm going to do this part off camera. Okay, 24 hours later, we've got a float made. Balsawood body, wire stem. Alright, well, I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of RG22 Outdoor Adventures. Stay tuned for another video, and don't forget, you have those little like and subscribe buttons down below. Hit those if you like the video. Also, there's a little share icon down there somewhere. Don't forget to hit that and share that amongst all of your friends, and get these videos out there, and that way we can pass the hobby of tackle making to everybody else. So have a great day, and again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.